Hello and welcome to Survive the Unexpected with your host Frank Pacino and my partner in crime Amanda Bryant. And today we're talking about the finale of Big Brother 23, and we're going to review it as a whole on our thoughts on the season as a whole. Um, we both kind of feel that the finale is kind of slow, uh,
Stale.
stale. Yeah. I there was just there was long segment like the first hour was them talking about who they're taking and the competitions, and we knew who won the part two already because the feed. So it was really hard to sit there and pretend like, oh man, it was so close. But Big D did fucking had to really dig deep on that competition. They had to use their legs like lock in the wood, and you have to like run it like you're running the log on the
Yeah.
water, and make it basically line up the pictures with like a slot machine spot. It was boring.
It was
It was
boring.
long.
I thought it was such a weird. That should have been a head-to-head comp.
It
Like
was a
during,
head to
you know what
head.
I mean? Like, huh?
It was head to head.
No. I'm saying like earlier in the season, like a elimination comp.
Oh
You know what I
no,
mean?
I no. I feel like that would have been worse. That would have been way longer.
Yeah,
Then we had to have 5 sessions of that or
that's true.
HOH. I mean, I just when you seen it, you realize, yeah, if I didn't even know about the feeds, I would have just looked at them and be like, yeah, Big D had no chance at winning that.
Oh, zero. Yeah, and they knew that. That's why it took Big D to the end.
So it was definitely like I understand the frustration, like it does suck. Um, I mean, because it's just Big Brother's more physical nowadays.
It is.
So
Well, and they cast more physical people too. You know what I mean?
mhm.
And a lot of the men and women that come on Big Brother are very physically fit or have a very physically fit body. So, I mean, it is. I mean, I would say that they're a little bit like the challenge in the sense, or they have those kind of more physical, enduring big comps. They don't need to.
Well, let's see. The last like let's see, Big Brother 20 was won by Casey. Big Brother 21 was won by Mitchie Jackson. Then we had 22 was Cody. 23 was Xavier. They're all ripped. They're all physically fit. If that's the way to go, that's not the. I don't think that's the right direction for Big Brother.
No, I
I
don't think
think
so.
I think you want Survivor and Big Brother to be a game where everybody could play.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
if you
the
have
women before that weren't like that. I mean, if you look
mm,
at literally
19, you had Josh,
7
18,
through
Nicole, 17 was Steve, like and 16 was Derek. Derek was decently straight, but 15 was Andy, 14 was Ian.
yeah,
So like yeah, so 13 was Rachel. Rachel is not in bad shape, but
yeah,
she's
so
not
she wasn't in bad shape.
Casey. That's what I'm
No,
saying.
nobody's
That's
Casey.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's the big difference.
We haven't had a
Hayden,
girl like Casey since like Natalie from like BB11.
so yeah, it's just the physically fit is definitely dominating the recent the last 4 seasons have
Yeah,
been all you like they all have six packs, they all have
I would say that
muscles.
Josh was fit.
No, not there. He's definitely more fit now that he does a
Okay,
challenge, but
okay.
at the time he really wasn't that fit. They made fun of him for being fat. Zingbot did.
Well, I guess that's true.
So, and Nicole isn't in terrible shape. She's just not like she's just not freaking nature like Casey. Like she's not in bad shape. Neither was Steve. Steve wasn't in terrible shape, but just he's just not. He's not Jackson.
I
He's
think
not
Derek
Cody.
was. I think Derek was probably the biggest house guest that's been on. I know he was bigger than Jessica, and Jessica was there was like a huge stink that Jessica was like an oversized plus model, and
Derek
he's
wasn't that big. He was a cop.
no. I'm talking about Derek this season.
Oh, Derek F. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Derek F. Yeah.
Big D. Yeah.
But we see that, I mean, we even had a segment of it where he was like, I feel like I can't do these cops because I'm a bigger guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But at the same time, I mean, I think there's a couple of mental comps he maybe probably finished in the top half, but he really didn't get super close to them either.
It I kind of felt like, man, they could have gave Big D some knee pads or something because he had to use his knees and not his legs like Ozza was, and he ripped his knees all open. It was pretty gross. You got a close up to it too. Yeah, have you ever seen Just Go With It, the movie?
Yeah.
So you remember how Adam Sandler's like with the beard, like, that's what it reminded me of his skin.
Yeah.
Yeah, just kept thinking,
Yeah.
but yeah, I felt bad because he tried his hardest. He did better than I thought he was going to
Yeah,
for
he
one.
tried. He really, really tried. But I wish that he would have tried throughout the whole season too. You know what I mean? Like, not that he didn't, but he didn't. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just like, if you can't hold your own physically, then you need to hold your own socially or strategically
And
in
he
his
felt like
career.
he did, but he really didn't.
They really didn't. No.
So,
Calling Tiffany,
um,
a bitch 7 times a day probably isn't the best jury management.
yeah, it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah.
No, so Ozza wins. It was 14 minutes to 20 minutes. So we find out that it was going to be Ozza versus Xavier. And Julie even calls Big D out here right before the next segment. He's like, Big D is almost guaranteed to be taken to the final two, or is he? And then he goes and he's like just running his mouth to Ozza and Xavier. And it's like, why are you doing
Well, one
that?
of these people is going to be on the jury. Like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah,
these are the moments when like they're like, "Oh, Derek F's a fan. He watches." Blah blah.
he
No, they
doesn't
don't.
watch.
No, they fucking don't. They don't watch because if they watch, they wouldn't be making mistakes like this. Like, you don't just openly attack people that's going to be on the jury. Like, you know what I mean? You shouldn't openly attack people anyway, but
Yeah,
especially on people that's going to be on the jury, and you have to like, they're going to be writing your name down to either give you $250,000 or not. Like, I'd want to be nice to people that might be giving me $250,000.
right, exactly. I know what
Yeah.
you mean, but I don't know. They just they didn't want to be like that. I guess I don't
I
know.
guess. I don't know.
But yeah, we find out it's gonna be those two, and DF is just sitting there. He's like running, like talking bad to Ozza, and Ozza's like, "I don't even want to take you." So he turned his best friend the whole season against him in the last like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Like that's just terrible
So
gameplay.
bad game. Yep. He's
Taryn,
probably one of the worst game players ever. He's definitely one of the worst finalists ever. 100%. Derek F
yeah.
is probably one of the worst, if not the worst finalist ever.
Let's see. Can we run it down?
We could
We
do
got
it quickly. Yeah. We
yeah.
got Nicole,
Enzo.
Enzo.
Enzo was not.
You
Well,
shut your
was just
mouth.
final two. No, I'm talking. I was just going down in order. I'll just
Oh, I was
Enzo.
going to say, I was like, you shut your mouth. It is not bad.
No, no. Let's just do the final two. You
Okay.
have Enzo. He wasn't as bad as D.
No.
We have we had Holly. Was it Holly? Right, that was her name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beth.
She wasn't that bad. She had good moments in the season, but she was not as bad as Derek F for
Not as bad.
sure.
No. She at least
No,
tried to like
yeah,
strategize with people and stuff.
yeah.
Like,
Tyler's one of the greatest to never win, so it's definitely not better than him. 19, you have Paul, who should have won the season probably
sure one of
if
these.
Paul just owned his own crab. Then we have 18,
Paul.
Paul. He had a case there, but I still think Nicole is the right winner. 17, you have Liz. Liz even had more agency. I know you haven't seen it. Had more agency in the game than Big D. She won a few HOHs. She was in the majority of the alliance. Like,
Cool.
and she had a big stake in the season. 16, Cody, not better than Cody. 15, Gina Marie.
Now listen, Gina Marie is bad, but she still was a part of an alliance that she helped form, and you know what I mean. Like, she's still.
Okay,
I would think Gina
I
Marie is
put them
probably
in
like
the
the
same
second worst
ballpark.
finalist.
I'll put them in the same ballpark.
Okay.
They deserve to lead. If Derek F is still lower than her, they're still in the same section.
Yeah, I agree.
14, you have Dan. There's no way these guys are touching Dan. 13, you had Portia. Portia didn't play that bad. She didn't
No,
play amazing, but she didn't
she
play as
didn't have
bad
to.
as Derek
She was
F.
kind of
Yeah,
like in the same position as like X kind of in the season where she
yeah,
was like, on block a couple times, and then she, was safe. And then she had the golden power veto for like ever,
Yeah.
or like the what was it called? You know what I'm talking about? Where they
Yeah,
gave
the
like
key. Yeah, the
the
key
key,
for
the
a
gold
few
key. Yeah,
weeks.
yeah. She had that key for a while, so that helped her out quite a bit.
And then we had Lane. She's not better than Lane.
Might love Wayne.
11. Natalie deserves to be in this section.
Really? I didn't think Natalie. I mean, Natalie was just a bad person. Like she
I
had a
don't
bad
know.
attitude. I don't know. Think
Bad.
necessarily she was
Okay.
a bad
Okay.
gameplay or a
Who
competitor.
who does that sound like? Bad attitude. Bad socially. Big
What
D.
do you mean?
That's what she sounds like.
Right, but
Bad
she was still physically better than him.
physically, but not like as a
That's
complete
part of
game
the game.
player.
That's part of the game.
Okay, but Big D was in the majority of the alliance the entire season. Natalie wasn't.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So like they're like I said, he may be worse, but they're still in the same section. She
Ballpark.
does
Yeah, I
yeah.
would say it goes Natalie, Gina Marie, Derek F.
So I'm just trying to find people who are in the same section as him to even
Right.
discuss. 10 is not he's not better than Memphis. Memphis does not deserve to be in that section. 9, God, I can't remember his name. I'm drawing a blank here. I remember
I think
and
about Ryan.
what? Ryan, yeah. Yeah, he
Ryan
was better than Ryan's way better than them.
Oh yeah. Ryan
8
won that season.
Danielle. No.
Danielle, let me tell you why, because I feel like I like a little bit of an expert on season 8 because I've seen it so many times. But season 8 is like with Danielle is like she played so bad socially, but that's part of the reason why Dick stuck out to the end. Not only because he couldn't vote his daughter, but he knew that he was going to win against her because nobody liked her.
Yeah.
She's really bad socially.
She had no chance to win the game.
She's like a veto queen, so
yeah, she does not deserve to be in the same section as those three.
No, I would say Danielle. I mean, I would say her social game brings her down quite a bit.
Okay. All right. Hear me out. I think Erica deserves to be in this section.
I do too. She's not that great of a game player.
She was so bad in season 7. She was overhyped in. Yeah, me either. She does to me. Now she's not as bad as Big D, but she was totally played. She was totally played the entire season. Oh, yeah. She put herself in worse positions because
All-Stars in the first place.
No, she shouldn't have. No. She shouldn't have. I would have definitely preferred Lisa over her for sure. Season 6, Yvette. I can't say Yvette's bad, but I don't know if she deserves. I think she's a section above them.
Terrible.
I think she's a section above their section, just barely. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You have season 5, Cowboy. Cowboy does not. He's. I think he's with Yvette in that section, the section just above.
But when's the last time you've seen Big Brother 5?
A long time.
Yeah.
But Cowboy was not very good.
No, he wasn't that good. I think.
But he almost had a chance to win the game.
He did almost have a chance to win the game. He wanted to come back so many times. They would not.
Yeah. So that's why he deserves just to be up just a bit higher than them. Mm-hmm. He had a chance. He had a legit chance to win the game, where those other people did not. No. Big Brother 4. Allison does not deserve to be in that conversation.
Allison is underrated.
So she is a savage.
Allison?
I love Allison.
I was amazing. Gonna say.
And then in Big Brother 2, you have Nicole. Nicole's she's one of the best players to never win.
Big Brother 3.
Oh, we have Danielle. I'm sorry. Danielle. She does not need to be sniffed in that conversation.
Player ever. No, just kidding.
So really, you're only talking about what, 3 people? Other people with Derek F?
Derek F and
Natalie
from BB11.
I think that's the only.
I don't even think Natalie was that bad. I think that Gina Marie and Derek F are definitely the bottom 2.
I didn't. Okay, that's fine, but she still is not that far away from them. She was really bad.
I think that
she lost to Jordan.
Yeah.
One of the worst. When you can't beat one of the worst winners of all time, then you're bad. It's not like it was better jury either. They just didn't.
Dan didn't beat Ian.
That was a better jury though. That was a better jury though. So, anyways, we digress. That Derek F is just not a very good player. Yeah. It's Taryn has constantly said that he thinks he played the worst game. Like the longest, like that made it this deep ever. Like worse than Victoria. I think he said Victoria was the bottom standard. I think Derek F surpassed him. I personally think Victoria's still worse, but I
Oh,
won't.
I don't. I don't
I
think Victoria's worse than Derek F.
I won't die on a sword for that.
But you know what? I didn't watch that season. I didn't live feed that season. I didn't live feed 16. Did you?
I didn't start
No.
watching to 17.
Oh, fair enough. So I think that maybe. Oh, excuse me. I'm so sorry. Um, I think that if I watch the feeds of 16, maybe I feel different. But watching Derek F on the feeds of this season was fucking a joke.
I
A
give you
joke.
that. I give you that. Um. So let's just move on. So, anyways, he ruins his relationship with Ozza, and
He apologized.
he apologized. But Ozza told him, like, "Look, I'm not gonna take you anymore if I win. I'm gonna lose to Xavier. I'd rather lose to Xavier than give you second place." That's what she
Exactly.
said to his face. I was like, dang.
Dude, Oz is fucking. I love Oz's like just bluntness. I will say that. Like,
Hmm.
I do you think if Ozza was sitting there that she would also be a worst finalist ever?
I think she wouldn't be as bad as Gina Maria, but she wouldn't be very high above that.
Right. I agree with that.
Because like I said, she did have some agency, and if she was able to win the final HOH, that means
Yeah.
something. Uh, but Ozzy wasn't very good. If she would have won, she would have been one of the worst winners ever. If Derek
Yeah.
F would have won, he would have been the worst winner ever.
The worst winner ever.
Yeah,
I
and
think I think
Ozzy,
if he would have won that season, it would have been like a Chris Underwood win, and
uh,
people would have ranked the season really, really far down, literally just based off the winner. I
let's
really do
face
think
it,
that would have happened.
Ozzy and Derek F did the least out of the cookout,
Yeah.
and they were two of the final three. That's what it comes down. It probably goes Tiffany, Hannah. So Tiffany, Hannah, Kyla, and Xavier all did the most.
Yeah.
Those four.
I would even say Hannah is like a little bit below those three, even.
See, I like people are really high on Hannah. I'm like lukewarm. I think she played all right. I just like from what I seen from her, I seen her actively like it's hard because she did things to help the cookout, but her
Yeah.
own game so much. Same thing with Tiffany, and that was my biggest issue with watching these people play. My frustration, like I understand the mission. I am happy for their mission. I completely understand what they want.
Right.
First black winner of the season to happen, but it's hard for a watcher to enjoy a season when you constantly hear people say, "This, if I was going to play for my own self, this would be the right move for me," but I'm not. And it was just
Right.
frustrating to hear that. Like the beginning started out fire. The first few weeks were
Oh,
fire,
we're so
and
good.
then right after Christian left, right when Jury started, like even that Brittany round wasn't that bad, but after that it was a steamroll and it got really boring and boring. Like Brittany one was crazy because Brittany was Brittany and she went off.
What kills me too is like if they would have just let the season play out and not done racial lines or alliances, say, we would have naturally had a black winner anyway.
Probably Tiffany
We would
probably
have
would have
had
won.
a black winner this season regardless. If everyone was just allowed to play their own game and the cookout alliance wasn't there, let's just say they aligned with whoever they wanted in the house. You know,
Tiffany or Hannah probably would have won.
Tiffany and Hannah and Claire and DX would have all been in alliance together.
And they would have
I
ran the
think
show.
Island, Xavier, Alyssa, SB would have all been in alliance together. It would have been
Hmm.
two good alliances against each other in the house, which is the seasons that are the best, in my opinion. When you have two forces going back and forth against each other, they hate each other, they're never going to align together, they're, praying they pick their teammates during the vetoes. You know what I mean? We don't have that anymore. We need that
Hmm.
again. They need to revamp Big Brother like they did Survivor. And
I
they
think
need to
I
game.
think that the end game is just too long. The last, I want to say the last. Let's see, we got to final
In this end
four.
game, we even had two double evictions, and it was still long.
I don't think that part was wrong, but like the final four on was forever. I think you should just turn into a survivor format. And you know what? If you want to
Three
cut the
person jury.
feeds, just cut the feeds. They're pretty boring anyways at that point. Like
Yeah,
nobody like if you're gonna piss people off, it's gonna be a small portion. The feeds at their four were just kind of boring. Like
yeah,
besides Kylan going off of this little tangent, that was it. But you could have had blocks. Make the evictions in 4 days. Make the last final four have two evictions in 4 days, and guess what? Then it's over in a week.
This is what you have to. This is what you need to do. You need to do head of household veto, or you
Veto.
need to do head of household noms veto off. Head of
Yeah.
household, noms veto off. Like that's what they need to do. I agree. It would go at a much faster pace. People
Honestly, if
would
they
learn
did
a
that the
lot
whole season,
faster.
would anybody complain?
I don't think so. Or even if you wanted to still keep it like a week format, do it in order. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
but I understand scheduling and stuff. They have a hard
Yeah.
time airing that.
Yeah. I think if
They already
they
can't
did,
fit Kid
if
in
they
now.
sped up the game, like how kind of Survivor's doing it right now, I would like to see a Survivor or Big Brother game speed up. Like have it 4 day block, like you said, HOH nominations, veto, vote. The next day, HOH nominate, and then have it const. If you want to give them 1 day break, you can, but that means it's 5 or 4 days instead of 7,
Yeah.
and it makes the game so much faster, and you
Or
might
it
see
has
some
to
more
be.
more
Yeah. Things
agency
don't
within the
change.
game.
Yeah, things don't change as slowly. Things change a lot quicker, which means more entertainment for us.
Right,
A lot more he said, she said.
right,
I agree. It needs to be a faster paced game. I think extending the game was their mistake because it used to be
yeah.
shorter. It
It
used to
used to
be
be
way
70
shorter than what it is
days.
now. Yeah, now it's in the 90s, which
Yeah,
is
it's like,
that's a huge difference. A
yeah,
huge difference.
yeah,
I mean, if you count like casting, interviewing, finals, sequester, the game, that's like all the after interviews afterward. It's like 6 months.
yeah.
I mean,
7 months of
really,
your life.
honestly,
Yeah,
it's like six
if not
months of your life.
more.
But it's just
Yeah.
for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it definitely should. I would think I would love to see them do a faster paced game just to try it out. If it doesn't work, guess what? You can just go right back to the old format.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't like it or people don't like it, then you can go back. Give it a season
We're
or
not going to
two.
get anything until Allison Grogner's out of there. Until they change producers. I mean, it's just not going to happen. I mean, like
All right.
I think it's amazing that Jeff was so willing to change Survivor up because
Yeah.
he's been hosting this show for 20 years now. You know what I mean? And he could have been like, "No, we're not changing anything. This is my baby."
So
You know what I mean? But he was like, "The times are changing. I fucking know if we don't do something, our ratings are going to be in the toilet. So it's time." You know what I mean?
yeah.
And I think Big Brother's right there too. They should have done the same thing after All Stars.
Uh,
Perfect opportunity. All
revamp.
Stars too. Said and
Revamp.
done. Now season 23, we're gonna redo the whole fucking game, and
They can still do
they
it.
would have known Survivor was doing that too, and they
Yeah.
didn't take the opportunity to do it at the same time.
So Xavier wins, or so it goes down to Ozzy and Xavier. Xavier wins. He does take Derek F. It was once like let's face it. Once Ozzy made the decision to I'm gonna take X, the game was over.
Yeah,
The game was flat out over. I look,
I think the game was over at Final Five.
yeah, look, Xavier. I don't think I won. I gotta figure out the draft for sure, finalists, but pretty sure Amanda won the draft. But I did have the winner pick, and my winner pick was correct. That's
Yep,
the first time I think I've ever had my winner pick actually win.
really.
Really,
I
on
love
Big Brother
that.
or Survivor.
It's
So
only
Xavier,
happened to me. It's only happened to me once in Big Brother, which was season. I think Hayden was my pick for season 12. I think that's the only time I've ever done that.
yeah,
And then for Survivor, the only time I ever did it was fucking Michelle. And that was purely off cast photo.
I
Purely
remember
off
that.
cast photo.
Yeah,
Yep.
so
Mm-hmm.
uh, I I picked Xavier from the start. He was my number one overall pick. I said that in the draft. I felt like he had the best chance to win. Now, did I think he played the best throughout the whole entire season? No. But I kept saying it for weeks, ever since jury, that if it gets down to 6, Xavier is going to win the game.
Oh yeah.
And I was very firm on that. And people thought I was crazy that Hannah and Tiffany had a shot, Kylan had a shot. Like, look,
I still think
I
Kylan did have a shot to win.
Kylan did have a chance,
Yeah.
but once he decided to go with Xavier it was over. The game was over because Xavier. I told you this too. Xavier's gonna cut Kylan. Like some people were like, "Oh, it's gonna be intense watch them too." I was like, "Look, Xavier has a chance.
I was
Kylan's
really
gonna go."
hoping that he would give Kylan the benefit of the doubt in the sense of like wanting to go up against a better player. You know what I mean? Like wanting to win over the best player type of thing. But nope. He was straight
No.
taking GOAT to the end. But you know what? I've done that. I've taken GOAT
Yeah,
to the end
I
thinking
would
I was going to win
look.
against him, and I did.
Look, he doesn't get any more money for beating better competition at
No.
then. He
No.
gets the same amount of money. And guess what? He did beat Kylan, just
Mm-hmm.
not at the final two. He beat him at final
Oh,
four.
yeah, he
He
beat
beat
him.
him twice in the HOH competitions. Kylan was and the veto competition. He beat them both times. Kylan participated in both of them because Ozza was the final five HOH. So Kylan had two chances to beat Xavier, and Xavier beat him head to head in both competitions. That sealed Kylan's fate, and he outsmarted him by not letting him know. So that way he couldn't convince Derek after at the change room. So he beat him three times right there. He had three chances to save himself, and he didn't save himself.
Well, and he had 5 chances to get Xavier out when he was on the block, and he
Yeah,
didn't do it either. So
yeah.
I know he was aligned with him, but you know, there's still a certain point in the game when you know that if your ally is better than you, and
Mm-hmm.
you know that they're gonna win, you have to be smart enough to cut them. That's just part of the
You
game.
know what? You know
You
what? The
know?
final Kylan pulling Xavier off at 5, and then Xavier pretty much getting rid of him at 4 reminds me of when Allison did it in her season, but it's not quite as where she
Right.
like convinced the
Yeah.
man to use the and then immediately voted him out. Oh my god, that's what it reminded me of. And that was the okay. Besides the
That was so
nastiness,
fucking
that was
nasty.
the best part of the whole season to
Oh,
me.
that was easily the best Final Four exit we've ever had on Big Brother. Was
Yeah.
Kylan
Beside
pulling up in
beside
Xavier.
I didn't like what you said about we didn't really talk about it because you weren't feeling well. But uh
I was
what
feeling fine, but my dog had surgery.
um so what Kylan said about Xavier and his nephew was uncalled for. It was over the
Yeah.
line. I understand Kylan was very frustrated and emotional at the time. And I hope once he sits down and realizes it, he'll apologize for real.
Yeah.
We had many opportunities he's yet to apologize. I hope for real he sits down and understands what he said because he basically like his Xavier's brother just passed away not that long ago. And he for him to say that about his nephew, who he opened up to Kylan about, saying that he wants to be an example for him, to use that against him was just uncalled for. He
Especially on
didn't
live television.
right, and it's not
But
like
you don't
he
realize like this stuff is shitty to do in general in the first place. You know what
right,
I mean? When there's not cameras there, and then it just adds a whole element to it when there's cameras there. It's like not only did you say this to me like out of context, like no cap, but you also said this to me in front of millions of people.
right. It was just uncalled for, and look, you know it's bad when Derek F is preaching the gospel about how Kylan was uncalled for. That's how bad it was. It was
God, Derek
uncalled
F is a
for.
dick. Yeah, Derek
Um,
F is a dick, and
he knew it
totally,
was bad.
totally, yeah.
So
He
it
knew,
was
but you know what? As Derek, I wonder if Derek. I think Derek F did apologize to Tiffany and who was it? Another woman for the way that he treated them.
Aza.
Ozza, yeah, Ozza
Yeah.
and
So, but like even that's the first time Julie had like the panic. Like she didn't know what to do. She's like, "Kylan, leave! Kylan, I need you to leave right now."
because production's probably yelling in her ear because she's probably. I mean, think about it. She's probably the only one there.
Yeah.
There's, I mean, accessibly. You know what I mean? I don't think they have like bodyguards or none of
No,
that
no. I
waiting
watched.
around in case something happens. So if Xavier and Kylan would have got in a fight, the only person that would have been there to break it up would have been DF.
Yeah, and I think he
Mm-hmm.
could have been fine. I think because he's a big dude, he would have
I
been
think they would have
snatched one of
snapped
those.
out of it by then.
Yeah, but yeah, it was intense.
It was
I
very.
don't. It wasn't the best. Shane was still the best. Shane being voted out of 14 is the
Dude, that
best Final Four
that's
eviction, and I don't think
good.
it'll get any better
Drew
than that.
Daniels' face lives rent free in my
Oh,
head. Oh, so good.
and Ian, the only one knew that was gonna happen was Dan. He told no. That like he was like, oh my god,
Stupid.
what just happened?
We're never
Oh
gonna
my god.
have a player like Dan ever again.
No, he's
We need
one
one.
of a kind. But yeah, it was an intense Final Four. Like I feel like the beginning was hot, the middle was slow, the ending had its moments. Like the double evictions were fine.
Mhm.
I feel like I wish they would have came a little earlier, but it's fine. I think having a double at the first jury would have been insane. Think about it.
I
Brittany would
like
have,
having. I like yeah, like a double tribal.
oh, because think about Brittany, what would have went home, then Sarah Beth won HOH.
Oh my god, that's so good.
What would have happened if Sarah Beth didn't have Kylan in her ear for 8 hours?
Oh god, I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So it's just like I don't know. It's
we
just
have. I don't mind. Listen, I don't mind. I know everyone hates like the triple eviction. I don't mind a triple eviction if it's the only one of the season. It's in the middle of the season. If
mm-hmm,
we're starting with 16 and we do a triple eviction 11, 10, 9, that's a good time to do a triple eviction. You know what I
mm-hmm.
mean? Like, don't do it at fucking final 7. That's stupid. Like, let the better game players that have been there almost the whole game ride it out. You
Right.
know, I don't understand. Like, if you're gonna do a triple, do it in the middle, to where
Mm-hmm.
it's like you're jumping your game from final 11 to final 8. That's a huge place to be in. Final 8 versus final 11. That's a huge difference.
Right.
You know, or even
Yeah.
final 10 to final 7. That would be
Placement. Read the game. You can put the double and triple wherever you want. Read the
yeah.
game. Like this game is starting to slow down. Let's put a double in there. Let's speed it up so that way maybe the underdogs have it. Or you
Don't
know what?
redo it.
If
Yeah.
the underdogs can't win, get the underdogs out of there so we can see the Titans go at it head to head. That's what we want to see. If the underdogs aren't going to win, we want to see the Titans just go at it.
Yep.
And the faster we can get to that point, instead of seeing these drawn out weeks where these guys have no real opportunity to save themselves, is pretty
Also, on
boring.
that note, you know what's stupid and wastes about 7 minutes an episode are the recaps. You don't need to give us a recap every time we watch the show. Of the first, think about it. The first like 5 minutes of the show is just them telling us what we've already seen, and they
Yeah.
do that every single episode. I can understand doing it on like eviction nights. Okay, this is what happened to the season. Well, this week. Well, here's head to H. Here's veto. Really fast, 10 minutes.
Th- those aren't
Quick
for
one.
us. Those are for the casuals, people who don't watch every episode or watch every live feed.
I know, but geez, man.
I know those aren't for us. So we get to the jury questions. They were pretty bad. Like why can't we have like the old
Boring.
format where everybody has their own question, record them? Why can't you just pause the live feeds and record them? They had the perfect system until they went to the live format.
Yeah.
And then or just do a survivor, like let each person stand up, address the final two, say their piece, ask them each a question if they want. If not, do the thing. That's it. That's all it has to be. And
That's what
then
it should be.
yeah,
That's the game. That's how the game is played.
like
Not,
listen to some of these questions they get.
yeah.
Xavier, what is the most important factors in crowning the first black winner? Like, okay, so basically what do you want me to what should I represent as the winner? Big D. Some of the jury feels that some of the decisions you made in this game were directions of others. What two moves were your own completely on your own? And then
That wasn't a bad question.
that wasn't a terrible question. That was actually one. What's the biggest mistake in the game for Xavier?
Here's my thing: is like Xavier's game. Let's just, you know what? Can we just like not go? The jury questions suck. Okay,
They
me and
were
Frank
bad.
hate them. They were bad. It was boring to watch on television. We all knew Xavier was gonna win. It just they didn't do anything to help the excitement of the finale. Nothing. There was no, of course there's no live audience because of COVID. It's just Julie. It's just them. And they didn't even get to ask their own questions. They have all that shit pre-ready. It's not exciting. You
No.
know, there's no one
Tiffany
that hates each
Tiffany
other.
didn't even read a question.
No, Tiffany didn't read a question. She was like one of the biggest characters of the whole season.
Yeah.
It's like, so we hated it.
Yeah.
We did
It
not
was
like the
awful.
finale.
I don't
You know,
understand why they keep doing because it like look, the reason why Tyler lost 20 was because of the live. He didn't have time to explain his game. It was rushed. Like we want to write winners to win, and in a game like Big Brother, where it's 90 days, you have to talk a lot about your game to for everybody to understand what you
Exactly.
did. Like unless you're Jackson, who just won a bunch of competitions and was just like a force of nature, then like it's hard to show your game if you're behind the scenes controlling things or
They
with
say that final
relationships.
tribal on Survivor, like the final tribal part,
Mm,
is like 3 hours, 3.5 hours. You know what
yeah,
I mean? And we do live when we do live finale,
it's like
counting
30 minutes.
commercials. It's 2 hours counting commercials. So we're
Yeah,
really only getting like an hour 40 of content, maybe an hour 35 of content.
but that's not
Not
even
enough.
that's not even. But that's the thing. That's not even all the questions. That's
I
final
know.
tribal. Then this is the questioning part and them talking about it. It's probably like 30 minutes long. That's not
Not
long
enough.
enough.
No,
It's not
not
long enough. They need more time to
the
explain it.
timing for
I
this
mean,
season
this
has
season
been
it didn't
really bad.
matter.
No,
This
no.
season didn't matter. Last season it didn't matter. But a season like 20 it mattered.
It mattered.
Season like 19 it might have mattered. Season like 18 it might have mattered. Like there was those were 4 to 3 votes.
Yeah.
The 19 20 or 18
Had
19 20
if they
were
would have
4 to
had
3
time
votes.
to, yeah, if they would have had time to actually
Yeah.
listen and
Or
explore
5 to
it, it
4
could have been a
votes.
different outcome.
Right. It could have been a
There's
different
very
outcome. One
yeah.
vote.
Mhm.
It just like so like it's just give them the time. We had
Yeah.
this 90 plus day game. You drawn it out long enough, and now you want to speed through everything. The most important part of the game. It's just mind boggling to
Doesn't
me.
make any sense. Doesn't
Let's
make any
speed.
sense.
Let's speed through the most important part of the game. That sounds great to me. So
X though, as a winner, I think for one, there's only been 3 unanimous winners ever in Big
mm,
Brother, which was Dan BB9 or BB10
10.
and Cody and BB22.
Mm-hmm.
And now
Where would you
Xavier.
rank him off the top of your head?
Well, sorry if you hear that.
That's fine.
Well, it's here's the thing: is I don't think X played the best game ever. I'm definitely not going to say that. There's some people that are saying he's the best ever. That's definitely not the case. I can think of 4 or 5 players that are better than Xavier, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think Xavier's game is definitely unique, and I definitely think that he mastered a different type of way. He was on the block 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
It's not very often that we see a block sitter as a winner. I mean, Adam was a block sitter, was a goat. Victoria was a block sitter, was a goat. Xavier wasn't a goat. He was in charge of the Alliance and still was on the block all the time. And it's because he felt like nobody else was going to do it. But in turn of Xavier being on the block all the time, he played in every single veto and he played in every single HOH.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't the HOH. So I think that his game needs to be respected in the sense that he played a really good block game. Like he somehow played ahead of his alliance and a block game at the same time. And I think that that's really good. And we haven't seen that before.
I think I'd place him
Or
around
maybe
12.
will.
I think I'd post him around 12, 13.
Really?
Yeah. I
I
think
wouldn't put him that low.
I think Dan is a better player. Will, Derek, Cody, Andy, Steve. I think Steve played a better game. I think Ian, you have a case that he played a better game. Um,
Casey?
Casey, you have a case that she might have played a better game. It's just like he's right. Hayden definitely played a better game than him.
Hayden?
Yeah, played a better game than
That's very
Xavier.
similar.
I don't know. I think Hayden was no. I think Hayden had more control over the game as a whole than Xavier did throughout the
Yes,
game.
but Xavier wasn't carrying also a showman's like Hayden was. I think people really estimate these.
He didn't have a showmance.
Broke.
Xavier didn't have a showmance. He
Um,
had a wishful mance.
that's what I'm saying though. Xavier didn't have a showman's to carry like Hayden did. Hayden had a showman's to carry. Tyler had a showman's to carry. Those things weigh on your game. It distracts you from the game. And when you can actively handle
But it wasn't a showman. She was with Christian.
I'm not. That's why you're not listening to me. I'm saying that I think that's what needs to be noted is that Hayden isn't that bad of a winner as Xavier. Is it? I think that Hayden is a better winner than Xavier, at least by a little bit, because he did
No,
carry a
I think by a
showman's.
lot of bit.
But I don't think it's a lot.
I think
I don't
Hayden's
think
like
that
a
Hayden
borderline
leaps and
top five
bounds
winner.
above over Xavier. I don't.
I think Hayden's like a top 5, 6-ish winner. Six, yeah, right there.
I mean, what did you hate? I guess we should say what did you hate about Xavier's game? What
All
was
right,
it
so
about
this
Xavier's game
look,
that
look
wasn't
what
deserving?
if let's face it, if the mission was not there, he was not going to win this game. If the mission
No,
for them to all get to 6, he was not going to win this game.
but he helped keep that six together too.
He did,
Multiple
but
times.
ultimately it was because of Tiffany and Hannah.
I mean, Hayden couldn't even keep his alliance of four together.
Well, no, he's the one who took Matt out.
Yeah.
He didn't want to keep his 4 together. He wanted to get rid of them,
Right.
which was the right
Alex
move.
got Kyle out.
Yeah, Alex got Kylan out, but like Xavier was very lucky at certain points of the time in the game. And when he tried to say that he threw the competition to Derek X to let him weaken the Kings was a lie. He threw a big fit the entire week because the Kings were being targeted.
Right.
And he did not want that to happen. So he actually tried to turn that into a positive, which isn't the worst thing in the world.
Right.
But face reality, he was not happy about Christian going home there.
I think it says something though. He was on block 5 times and didn't go home.
Yeah. He was good in the beginning game and in the end game.
Right. He got votes,
no.
right?
No, he had 1 vote.
Yeah.
He had 1 vote, which isn't like look, he's probably around 8 to 12. I'll give him that 8 to 12, interchangeable. But for sure, I think Dr. Will, Derek, Cody, Dan, Andy, Hayden all easily played better than him. That's just. I think Steve personally played better than him, but I wouldn't like call anybody crazy.
That I have seen, I would probably say that Will played better. Dan played better.
You can even say Boogie played better.
No, I don't like Boogie. I don't think Boogie's that great. And I'm not saying Andy either, so I'll be ready for that one. Dan played better. I would say that Hayden and Xavier's games are similar. They are ranked really even to me on the same level. I don't think that Hayden is leaps and bounds better than Xavier, other than the fact that he carried a showmance through the game and Xavier didn't have to. But he had carried 5 other people in his alliance, so it might weigh itself out. Rachel's not a better winner. Neither is Ian. Neither is Andy. Neither is. I haven't seen Nicole's winning game yet. Or Stevens. Derek's better than Xavier. Josh is not. Casey is. I don't know, man. Casey, like, again,
Casey's middle pack.
Similar to me with Xavier, like on the level.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I think.
Yeah.
I think Xavier's a middle pack winner.
I think Xavier's better than Jackson.
I look. Jackson's the worst person.
Yeah. Nick's the worst of them all.
So I would give you that. Jackson is a much worse person.
Yeah, Jackson is a much worse person, but I don't think his game was. He cheated. For one, he cheated. So.
I mean, it didn't affect the game though. I guess him.
Have not.
Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, the man dominated.
I would think Xavier is easily a top 8 player, a top 8 winner.
I think there's a top tier. There's like the clear top tier for me. It's Dr. Will, Dan, Derek, and Cody's right outside of that. Yeah. And then I put Andy right outside of that with Cody, and then Hayden right outside of that with those 3. I think those 3 are the next 3 for me. It goes Dan, Derek, Will, and then it goes Andy, Hayden, and Cody in that next tier. And then it goes to a tier for after that.
Dan, Derek,
and Will are to me the best 3 still.
I think Dan and Derek are better than Will. If I'm being honest.
I don't know. I don't like. Look, I would have to see Derek play again for him to be better.
Yeah.
Like, okay, the reason why I hold my regard for Dan and Derek so well is that they
Me
they
and Derek
won the
are doing
game
well.
and they came and played again and they topped themselves.
Yeah, Dan
They
was.
outdid themselves the second time
Yeah.
from the winning game.
Mhm.
You can easily Big Brother's like Dr. Will's season 2 win was shaky, but his Big Brother 7 performance is all time just
Oh yeah,
amazing.
amazing.
And he
Absolutely.
was like one mistake away from winning the game. That's
Yeah.
what let's face it. He was one mistake away from winning the game. Dan played the most craziest game we'll ever see
Oh yeah.
anybody ever play.
He was like the
And
Marshall Hance of like entertainment of the
and
like
he got the only reason why he lost is because the jury was bitter. And that's it. So like to me, that's why those two are the top two for me, and Derek's right underneath it because I need to see Derek play again and maybe top himself.
Mhm.
Because the two greatest ever did do
I don't
that.
think Derek will ever come back.
No, I think if he wasn't come back for All Stars, he's not gonna come back now.
No, he didn't come back.
So unless it's
The
like an
only
All
way I would
Legends,
see it is if Big Brother were to do like another coaches season or some shit, but or another duo season. I could see Derek and Cody coming back together as like a big shock of like duo, but other than that,
it would take a lot. I think it would be like a Legend season, or it has to be shortened season. Janelle, all these people said they
I
would
don't think
never
they'll do
play
a
again
Legend season
unless
ever
it would be
again.
shortened season.
I don't think they'll do a Legend season ever. Actually, I don't think Survivor or Big Brother will do a Legend season. To be completely honest, it's probably an unpopular opinion because the time span of these people of legends is just too broad. You can't get people from the past 20 years that are considered legends to all agree to come back and play together. And if you can't get all the legends on, then do we really want a legend season? You know what I mean? It's going to be forced like it was with Game Changers and All Stars. You know, like our All Star Big Brother All Stars that this past season
Look,
was phenomenal.
Survivor could do a Legend seasons. There's no way Big Brother's doing it.
Survivor maybe could do a legend season, but I mean, for example, like a legend season. If we're not our personal opinion, if we're going to do an all over casual view legend season of Survivor, people would want like Colby on there, and Colby can't. I mean, Colby's fucking. He played in season 2. Like he played 20 years ago. He's not going to play again. He hasn't played in
I look,
months.
look. Rob said he never said he would never play again. A Legend season would probably get Rob out of the podcast booth. Look, if Probst can put his ego to the side, Fair Play would play again. That's a huge
Yeah.
get. Sandra would play again. She
Sandra
said
said that
she's
she will always play again because she's
yeah.
always a paycheck
She would
giver.
play
So
again.
she's always willing to play
And
again.
Boston Rob says
Yeah, Boston Rob would play.
Boston Rob would play again. They throw enough money at him to play again. Tony would play again. Natalie Anderson would play again. Michelle, you
They
could
have a
consider
hard
her.
time finding women and people of color to fit.
I think Tina would play again. That's another
Can't
one.
play again. He's like in her late 60s.
So how old was Rudy?
Yeah, but back then the comps weren't like they are now.
Um,
8-year-old.
Natalie, you can consider Natalie Anderson borderline, so she could pass as one.
Yeah.
Michelle could pass as one, because she made it to
Very well known. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. I would say
So
that Adam is a legend.
Aubrey would play again. You could consider her.
Adam would play again.
Adam would play again.
Adam would play again.
Survivor could do it if
Survivor could do it.
they wanted to. And let's face it,
Yeah.
if they really wanted to, Russell Hantz would play again. So they could find enough people for Survivor. Big Brother would be a much tougher task.
As another all returning cast that's not Heroes versus Villains. People actually know this game.
Yeah. And let's face it, if you really want to dust somebody off, JT would probably play again. Ozzy would play again.
Carving her hot ass on there again.
Ozzy would for sure play again.
Oh yeah, Ozzy would.
Yeah. So like,
if Ozzy's coming back, let's make it real awkward and get Amanda Kimmel on there too.
Yeah, Amanda would play. I think Amanda would play again. And Spencer was. Well, I was saying that he might play if it was a Legend season. They could do it. There's plenty of people they can get. They, give them like a season notice. Give them like 6 months notice. Like, hey, we're thinking about doing this. Would you be considering down the line?
Do a season of evens versus odds. All the even seasons versus the odd seasons. Oh, we should do that sometime. We should fucking do that. Brain still sometime.
Oh god.
You can be the odds team and I'll be the even. I'll pick the even, you pick the odds. Then you'll get second chances. We can pick our cast and do a brainstorm together. Let's fucking do it sometime.
All right, we'll find some time to do it. Yeah,
that's right.
But anyways, we went on a tangent there, but like okay, so like Xavier to me, he's a middle pack winner. He won unanimously, but let's face it, if Ozzy was there, Ozzy's probably getting a couple votes. He though there were more votes against Derek F than
Yeah,
all completely for Xavier. If that makes
yeah, I
sense.
agree.
There like Ozzy was so
Maybe
fed up
not a
with Derek
majority of
F.
the votes, but a lot of them. Not a
Yeah,
lot of them, but I would say like at least 3 votes were just so Derek F would lose because they weren't
yeah.
going to award him a winning game.
No, like let's
It would have
face it, like
definitely been split if Kylan was sitting up there.
yeah, it would have been split. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like Xavier didn't dominate the season. He didn't dominate the the game, but he was in a good position throughout the game. Some of it wasn't his doing, but he did reap the benefits of it.
It
So
wasn't
that's
bad.
why I
It
think
wasn't
he.
bad. Do you think Xavier will play again? I don't.
I don't think so.
Nope. I don't get that vibe from him that he'll play again.
No, I think this was an experience for him, and he's one and done. And what else does he have to prove? He won. He is the first ever black winner. He will always have that, and he's a unanimous winner. Only two other people can say that. Like, what else does he have to prove? Like he's not, and that was a long time. Like I said, like the season's too long for these people to want to play another 90 plus day game, especially when you have other priorities in life.
I agree.
So I don't think he'll play again. I think Tiffany would play again. I think Hannah says she's not going to play again, but I think she'd play again.
Oh, I think Hannah. I think Hannah be a shoe in for a returnee. Claire be a shoe in for a returnee.
Derek X.
DX for sure is going to come back. Like if he doesn't come back, I'd be shocked. He was like one of the most beloved house guests of all time.
You know what I would like to see Xavier do would be the challenge.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun to see Xavier do the challenge.
I would like to see Derek X do
Put DX on Survivor.
yeah, I think Derek X would be good for the challenge as well. I think Hannah would be okay. I'm a big challenge fan, so I always scope out the scouting when the season comes. Like,
Right.
who do I want? I think Kylan would be a train wreck if he won the challenge.
God, so good though. Oh, it'd be so good to see Kylan. I don't even watch the challenge. I watch it to see Kylan
But
on there.
yeah, so okay, so I actually did a poll on our Facebook page and the Big Brother fan jury page. Where would they rank this season? Now, what would you rank this season?
I would rank this season in probably a top 10 season. Maybe not top, definitely not top 5, but a top 10.
See, I think I have it middle pack, like 12.
Middle
Like
pack?
where I was, like the middle part was so long and it dragged out, and the end game was it had its moments, but it also had its moments dragging. Like
I
after,
don't remember collectively liking a cast this much. I think
I'll
that's
give you
the
that.
reason why I rank it really high is because I thought the casting was. I mean, there was a couple of boring, useless players, but you get that every season. They cast people
Yes.
for that reason. You think they
Yeah.
cast a fucking Whitney and Melissa to win? No, they didn't
So,
cast Whitney and Melissa to win. You know what I mean? So it's like
all right.
overall for a cast, I really like 23, and that boosted up for me. Mm-hmm. I mean, think
So
about it. We just listed 4 players that we want to see come back. How many seasons can we say that?
So I had 82 votes on the poll, on both between both polls. The far out winner, 41 people said a top 5 season. I don't think it's that high. 23 people said top 10. 5 people said top 15, and 6 people said bottom 3. I think it's around I think it's around 50, it's around 12 to 8 for me around there. I think it's like
probably around 8.
like I have to sit down and I really think about it, but I think I enjoy, like, just off the top of my head, 20 better, 17 better, 14 better, 17 better, 6 better, 7 better, 8 better,
Love 8.
3 better, 2 better. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't think 2's better than this season.
I think yeah, you're not a big fan too. I think
I don't know. And you know what?
14. I didn't even say 14.
That,
so that, you know what I'm saying? I didn't even say 14.
Yeah.
You make a case for 5. Like,
Yeah.
it was just a middle pack. Like, even if you take 2 out, it's still a middle pack season to me,
right.
because the middle stretch was just so dragged out, and it was nothing but, like, those were the times to have the doubles. We want to have the doubles to get rid of get rid of the Claires and the Alyssas. Get rid of them because at that point they were just sitting there doing nothing. They were just taking up space and taking up
Claire, I
time.
feel bad for because she really tried to. She really trusted in her alliance with Tiffany. She thought that final two was the duo to go to the end.
Hmm.
So I mean, her. I mean, I think she was a little delusional. You know, they were all a little delusional about the alliance, but
Yeah, I
I don't
think
know.
yeah, like it just to me it's like a 12, 13 probably,
Yeah, sure.
and because like I said, I just listed 10 right there, 11, and I think 18 might be a little bit better. I think 18 is a little underrated.
That's a stretch, isn't it?
So
I
I know
see. I
a
know a lot
lot
of
of
people
people,
don't highly regard 18.
a lot of people don't. I think 18 is one of the most underrated seasons because people like poo on it. I'm like, I don't get it. There's great gameplay. There's disasters. There's arguments. It's just, oh, it's so great. I don't know,
So last
but
thoughts before we round out this hour.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I thought for after the I didn't like 22. I gave up watching it. I'll rewatch it when I
yeah.
get to it. Whatever. But and then 21 was bad. 21 wasn't that great of a season either. I think that 20 and 23 really stand out over the past, definitely over the past 10
Like,
years.
as the last 5 seasons, including 19. So what? No, I can see eight. So it'll be 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Those last 5 seasons, it's 20 and 23 as the outliers of those 3 seasons, of those
Yeah.
5 seasons.
Yeah.
So I completely agree with that. But we've had a lot of bad Big Brothers. That's why 19 was
We
bad,
have had a
22
whole
was
lot of
bad.
bad Big Brother. I'm hoping
Yeah,
that the new casting direction going forward will help keep getting us interesting
they
people.
need to revamp the game and not just do it with twists.
Yes, they need to let's do another casting twist. All the seasons that had casting twists were good. The twins twist, the duos twist, the rivals twist, season 8. Like we all had really there were really good the coaches casting twist of season 14. Like there are some really good casting twists. We need another good casting twist.
The problem is, Boogie was genuinely pissed about the coaches thing because
Yeah, because they didn't want to play.
he didn't want to play. He just wanted to be coach. That's why because he knew
Don't
he
you
had
think
no
they would
chance.
have told him though before he went in the house? I'm like, hey, guess what? Actually,
No, no, they didn't tell him. He thought he was genuinely just going there to be a coach, and
and it ends up like
and
this.
they switched it and they burned him, and that burned a lot of the community because they seen that they burned Boogie at the time before all this craziness happened was one of the probably easily top 10 if not higher characters of all time at that point.
Yeah.
At 14, you can make maybe a case for Daniel Reyes, Dr. Will, Dan, but like after that, like, can you really definitely say these guys were worse?
No.
So, so like his character at the time was high, and they kind of burned him, and so
Yeah.
people remember that. So,
I have to rewatch All Stars. I literally have not seen All Stars in years.
so overall, I think we both enjoyed the season as a whole. I think we had points in the season where we disliked it, disliked the direction. The fan base had really toxic points in the season. Um, but overall, it wasn't a bad season. I don't think it's a great season. I think it was a good season. I think it could have been better in a different direction if people went a different direction and played for themselves. But I understand the mission that they went on. But it just me as a watcher would personally seen everybody be more self interested. And I did like to say that I did like Xavier's speech he gave at the end where he laid out his game, which was very explained very well. Oh, we didn't mention the Tiffany wearing American favorite player.
Oh yeah, you have Tiffany
That
Wonder,
was really
favorite
good.
player. 50K, right? Is what it
Oh,
was.
yeah.
Yeah, 50K.
Hmm.
Um,
Uh, and
and that
we
was like a big.
yeah, it was between her and Derek X, and we did get to see the secret portion. That was fun. But that's what we want. Why, Big Brother? Why don't you just record it and to do a live reunion? I don't want.
I don't know.
There's just you could literally record everything and do a live
I
reunion and
think
have
that
all the
will be off the air before Survivor will be.
So then we had that secret session was fun. We had to see
Yeah.
Sarah Beth talk about her secret. Brittany's was fun. Oh, we
Yeah.
did get a nice moment with Brittany telling everybody she was autistic and everything like that.
Yeah.
I felt like they didn't give that enough time. Like Tiff or like Julie was like, all right, enough, and sit down. Do you have better lighting? It's like Julie, that's not
Again,
the
if you record and not do it live, we wouldn't have these issues.
right. And then her Hannah Chata thing. I'm so over that shit. Like, girl, we all know
No.
Hannah is Chata. And if you want to just call her Hannah, just call her Hannah. I don't care. Just stop saying Hannah Chata, Hannah Chata. Like, nobody cares, Julie. Jesus. It's so annoying. Yeah. But yeah, the secret part was fun, you know, and the lawyer, he, you know, Xavier told everybody the lawyer, and then Derek F told everybody that he was Joe Frazier's son.
Joe Frazier's son.
Yeah.
Didn't people know?
No.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. That is crazy. But I mean, he walked away with a pretty penny because he won some money throughout the cash, throughout some of the games. He's like, "Who took that money?" Remember, everybody's like, "Big D took that money." he walked away like at least like 80.
Yeah.
If not more.
80 to 100, yeah.
Yeah,
well, taxes, but yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it was we think we enjoyed it. I think that we had when we sit down and actually rank the seasons, we can go into deep details with it. But I think I could do a Big Brother ranking before a Survivor ranking. I would have to rewatch some of these seasons of Survivor. I don't even remember.
Have to rewatch seasons of Survivor and Big Brother. I can tell you things
Big Brother, I can remember better, but Survivor, there's so many of them that I just
see. I remember early Survivor better because I actually enjoy early Survivor, whereas Frank doesn't. So, which is why we haven't Cora Afke yet.
I've been busy. Kids have been sleepy.
He's not excited to watch it. Hype him up, guys. I'm like, Africa, and he's like, ah.
Australian Outback has a bad taste in my mouth. I'm sorry.
Africa's better than that.
We'll see. It can't be worse. I'll tell you that. I'm telling you right now. I think Australian Outback is like a bottom 5 season.
Thailand's like hold my beer. That's gonna be hard for us to get through Thailand.
But yeah, we enjoyed the season. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're definitely happy Big Brother's over though, because man, it was just long.
Hard TV to watch.
Yeah, it's a lot, and I just want them to speed up the game just a little bit. It just drags at certain points in time.
Now that we're over with Big Brother and we don't have to watch the Big Brother season as well, now we're just doing Africa and the current season of Survivor. So it'll be a lot easier for us to schedule and get these things done.
Yeah, we're going to talk about last week's episode of Survivor tomorrow. Mm-hmm. That's the plan. Because we just had a busy weekend. You had busy life things going on, so we paused things. Yeah, so we gave her some time to figure that out. Didn't rush things. But thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe, comment. All means a lot. Have a nice night. I hope you guys enjoyed Big Brother 23. Let us know in the comments. Thanks. Bye.